Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels Collector video. Today we're looking at this very unique casting. This is the Kool Kombi done in grey, and this car actually features in the 2023 H case. So I actually found this car in a very local Tesco store. I had been debating on getting this thing for a while. I'd seen quite a few of them, but none of them really had a perfect paint job, so I thought I'll just kind of leave it. And if I happen to find one in a good condition, I'll pick it up. If not, I'm not going to sweat it. But I did find one in an immaculate condition right here, and honestly I just thought I'm just going to grab this thing because it does look beautiful. I love the colour choice on this thing. I think it's much better than the previous yellow release, although people are going to absolutely attack me for that because people love the yellow Moon Eyes cars. I know this is a very popular car just because it's actually got the Moon Eyes logo on it. Anything with the Moon Eyes logo sells real fast. But anyways, let's get into the facts about the real life version of this car. So this car actually was produced from 1967 onwards. Now the engines available in the Type 2 were a 1.6 litre Boxer 4, a 1.7 litre Boxer 4, a 1.8 litre Boxer 4, a 1.8 litre inline 4, and a 2 litre Boxer 4. This car also had two transmission options, a 4-speed manual and a 3-speed automatic. The top engine in this car, being the 2 litre version, was capable of 70 horsepower with 124 Newton meters of torque, converting to 91 pound-feet of torque. This car could also go 0 to 60 in 38 seconds, very, very slow, and also had a top speed of just 68 miles per hour, converting to 109 kilometers per hour. Of course, these cars are known to be quite slow. Anything of this era was quite slow, to be honest, except from the obvious performance cars, but they were expensive and they were purposely built to go fast. This car was purposely built to transport lots of people all at once in quite a small space, to be entirely honest. I couldn't quite find the actual value of this car when it was new, but nowadays this car is worth, at least here in the UK, £30,000, which converts to about $37,500 for anybody living in the US. Although prices are probably much higher in the US, just because this car I don't believe was available in the US. I might be wrong on that, so please do correct me, but yeah, if it wasn't available in the US, which I don't think it was, prices will be much higher. But obviously we're talking about the value here in the UK, and I've just kind of converted that to dollars, so it kind of gives you a rough kind of idea of the value here. But anyways, that's it for the facts about this car. Now let's get into the actual showcase of the Hot Wheels model. Alright, so kicking off this showcase, so first of all, take a look at the side of this car, and I will first of all mention the wheel choice. This car is rolling on the Aerodisc wheels, which have been painted in a white colour. I think they look fantastic on this car, both the wheel choice and the colour, because the colour does suit the grey, which the entire car is painted in, obviously that being a matte grey, but it also suits the Moon Eyes white, which is obviously found in the eyes on the Moon Eyes logo. As for the actual tamper work, I've already mentioned that this side of the car does have the Moon Eyes logo. There's a little bit of yellow in it. I know a lot of people do prefer the cars from Moon Eyes to be painted in either yellow or black and yellow. This one is neither of them really, but I do quite like this grey Moon Eyes look. I think it does look nicer than the yellow, but that's going to be a controversial take, I think. We also have a nice bit of black tamper where the window used to be, but I'm taking this as the panel van, so I don't think it would have ever had a window. We also do have a nice Surfer logo, which has been done in blue with a white background, and we also have the Hot Wheels logo once again done in blue with a white background. Finally, I will mention that there is a nice 30th anniversary tamper on the door of this casting. Very nice to say Hot Wheels honouring Moon Eyes 30th anniversary. Of course, this year it is their 30th anniversary. Finally, I'm actually going to mention a few things in the casting. So first of all, we have the door handle, which is in the metal casting. We also have got some nice vents in the side of this bus as well, in the metal casting. We also have the fuel filler door, once again, in the metal casting. Finally, I would like to mention that the front window on this car is wound down, and this casting does not feature any wing mirrors. That's really it for the side of the car. Now let's move on to the front. Alright, now onto the front of this car. So there is no tamper work on the actual front, but we do have quite a lot of details in the metal casting. First of all, we have the headlights. You could add your own details, of course, to these headlights to make them look more realistic, using Sharpies or acrylic paint. You also have got the Volkswagen logo, which is also in the metal casting. Again, you could add your own details using Sharpie or acrylic paints. Finally, I'm going to mention that the front bumper of this car is created using the black base plastic. Very nice to see the use of that. Obviously on the real car in real life, it was most commonly seen in a chrome colour or a white colour. And that's really it for the details on the front of the casting. It does look quite accurate to the real life Volkswagen camper van. Alright, and one final thing I'm going to quickly mention, you can see that iconic split screen windscreen features on this casting as well. Very nice to see Hot Wheels implementing that into the design of this car. And one final thing which is unfortunately missing is the windshield wipers on this car. Unfortunately, this casting does not feature any windshield wipers. It's a very small detail and it definitely doesn't make or break the car for me. However, it would have been nice to have seen it. It does just add that extra level of detail. Alright, so now taking a look at the rear of this car. There is no tamper work here either. However, we do have the rear lights which are in the metal casting itself. Hopefully you can see that there. We also have this nice wheelie bar, which I'm actually just going to tilt the car around slightly so you can see. That is created using the black based plastic. You can also see there is quite a lot of detail in the rear of the car as well. So you can see that the engine of this car, as well as some surfboards and the interior of this car, is all created using the interior brownish plastic, which is obviously meant to kind of look like a leather colour, as I've already said. Right, and a final thing I do want to mention on the rear of this car is you can see there is an exhaust. It is a single exit and is quite large. That single exhaust is created using the black based plastic. And a final few details is this huge massive spoiler, like it's gigantic, on the rear of the car, and that is created using the metal itself and is obviously painted in a matte grey, the same as the rest of the body of this car. Alright, and the final section of this car is the roof of the car. There is no tamper work up here, and the only detail we actually do see is in the metal casting itself. You can see these nice lumps and bumps on the roof of the car. They are intentional, and I'm pretty sure they are made to represent the sunroof of the car. The sunroof on this car, I believe, was an optional extra, and it was made out of a fabric, so that's kind of what it's meant to represent with the lumps and bumps, and it was usually in a black fabric. But there you go, that's the top of the car. Alright, and that is it for the showcase of this car. Now it is time to get into my review and final thoughts on this thing. Alright, so now it's time for my final thoughts and review on this car. I think this casting is pretty nicely executed, and I really do like this take on the Volkswagen T2 bus. I genuinely do think this thing looks amazing as a dragster. This is kind of like a tuned take on the car. It's definitely not like a one-to-one scale, and it's kind of been smushed, if that makes sense. Really interesting look. This car commonly gets loads of like details put on the side of it, like Hello Kitty we've seen and stuff, and that is because it does have quite a large amount of space for the Hot Wheels design team to have a play around with on the car, whilst also this casting is just a really cool one, and lots of people like want to see it return, and they always get bored. There is never any cool combi that just sticks on the pegs and peg warms. It's such a cool one, and this is no exception. Really love the colour choice, and I love the livery too. But anyways, that leads me on to my score out of 10. When I have this car out of 10, it is going to be receiving a very solid 9 out of 10. I really do like this thing. And yeah, there is really not a whole lot missing. The only thing that I would love to see is obviously wing mirrors. That would have been kind of difficult for Hot Wheels to add. And also, you know, it would have been nice to see front tampers or rear tampers. As the only tamper work we see is on the side of it, unfortunately. But other than that, this casting is pretty much perfect. Love this thing. But anyways, that is it for this video. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Remember to also press that notification bell so you do not miss any new uploads. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, and any groups who may be interested in this video. Remember, don't feel pressured if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested. You watching this video all the way to the end means so much to me, and I really do thank you for making it all the way up until this point. But anyways, that is it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye everyone.